Bigfoot, I don't care about you. Bigfoot, hardly think about you. You usually are the last thing on my mind. Till some stupid late night TV show comes on and just makes me laugh.
And here we are.
One more time.
Hey, we got a great show tonight, and I'm excited. We have Nikki from Hairy Man Hoaxes and Hoodwinks. We have Brent from the Tall Ones, and Shaun Payton from Something to Sasquatch About. So I'm proud to have these people on the show tonight. We're going to talk about hoaxers and why people follow them. So let's bring them on in here. Welcome in, guys.
Hi, everybody.
Good evening.
Hello.
Howdy.
Hello.
Oh my gosh. So let's give some shout outs real quick. We got Squash GTV, and that's one of my newest friends there, and he's helped me out quite a bit. Had some private conversation with him, Mr. Steve Coles. We got Donald Fuller. I'm happy to have you, Donald. Patty Troy, Dave Green. It's going to be more people coming. I'm sure of it. So thank you guys for being here first, though. That gets you a star somewhere. So
Right on the forehead, right there.
Bam!
So guys, I want to talk about we're going to name some things, but we're going to talk about why the people follow them. What is it that makes someone follow even when they've been caught? Like say a Mike Patterson, he's been caught. He ended up getting in a fight with his partner in crime, and he ended up exposing the whole thing. Yet that guy still got hundreds of thousands of followers, and they will fight you to the death. That this Bigfoot talks and sings and throws marbles and leaves a billion tracks. So what do you think about that? And welcome, Gary. Welcome, my friend. Brent, what do you think about that?
Well, I think it sucks, but it happens. There's various reasons why people will follow hoaxers that have been caught. A lot of times, people don't believe the evidence that is supporting them getting caught. Whatever it may be. Even I've noticed, even when you have evidence that you can show them right in person, like there it is, people still choose not to believe it. It's an interesting thing that I'm still really trying to understand a lot better, because it's such a complex question that it's way above my pay grade, but it's definitely happening. And maybe some of it has to come out, or has to do with the presentation of the hoax getting, how it came out to be a hoax. The presentation wasn't good enough, or maybe the person that was bringing out the hoax, that was they personally attacked the person, which gave that person ammo to defend themselves and say, deflect. It's one of those things. And that's it.
This is thank you, Robin. This is one of my newest friends. Met her the other day, and we had a good. I spent my lunch break actually talking back and forth with her. Welcome, and thank you for the comment, Nikki. Yeah. You're the one that's been helping out with the hoaxing and stuff like that. You got a wonderful show. It's one of my favorites. What do you think very much? What do you think about this?
In the Bigfoot community, you've got new people coming constantly. Constantly, there's a newbie flow, okay, who don't know about all the hoaxes, who don't know about all the things that can happen within the community. So they want to believe. They want to take everything in and be amazed. And that's an adrenaline rush. It's their fix for entertainment, as that Robin said. It all leads to that's what they want. They just want entertainment. They just want to be happy and watch a show. And in the beginning, they don't care about if they're hoaxing or not. It's just entertainment for them, because a lot of the people who come into the community in the beginning, they're not researchers. They're not investigators. They're not into the subject like all the people, who have been here for a long time and who have had experiences and now they want answers. So then they go out in the woods and they look for them. But the majority of the people just want to be entertained. Therefore, they don't care. It takes a little while for people to get to the point where you get tired of seeing the same old
Right,
pictures
right,
posted
yeah.
week after week with a different name on it, with a different state, with, and they'll get tired of it and they'll eventually get to the place where we are. Unfortunately, we have to put up with that. Hence, that's where I brought my channel from, is to show these things. Look, people have researched this. They have investigated it. They have the proof. Everything I've shown, it's just the proof. And if I don't have the proof, if it can go either way, then I say it can go either way. But make a logical decision based off of the information that's out there in the internet or out there in books or out there in whatever, but be cautious. I think people they need to be more cautious about what's going on.
Well, the man, his partner, showed how it was faked, showed the voice. He was the man behind the voice. Showed actually the neighborhood. They don't actually. He wasn't actually out into the forest. He was in like a kind of a duplex situation with a couple houses there, here and there, but they were
Some
literally,
cottages.
yeah, cottages. But yet still people refuse to say no, this is real. Shaun, what's your take on it?
Well, we also have to remember what the subject is too.
Yes, true.
There's hoaxing in everything. The claim is that there's an 8-foot tall, hairy giant out in the woods. To the majority of people, that sounds ridiculous. So some people are just having fun, and other people are, they're having fun that people are following them. It gives them that sense of power that they can manipulate people too. And then a lot of it's entertainment. Me personally, I don't know anyone who comments on a video personally. So sometimes I think they're just going along with the channel.
Yeah.
Which could also, it bumps up people's faith in it, because sometimes in comments you see people just arguing back and forth, insulting each other.
Mhm.
And I go, well, that's not really the researchers and stuff. It's really just people who've fallen hook, line, and sinker for stuff. What you do about it is absolutely nothing. What?
What
Yeah,
can you do?
what are you gonna do? Just argue until you're blue in the face? That's When someone told me, and I hate to say it, but one of the comments was, it wasn't a porcupine. Well, I'm not gonna sit in the comments arguing back and forth over something that's not even, doesn't help me. If you left me some sort of analysis that made you come to that conclusion, I'd be all right. Instead of directing me back to the channel,
Yeah.
I want to know why you think that, not why the guy who presented it thinks that.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think having that would help us understand this more, but we don't get that a lot. What you get
It's
a
like-
lot is, I want to argue with you.
Yeah, it's like, here's the person up here. I'm the guy to put this out. Okay, now my minions are gonna do all the fighting for me. I won't have to say a thing. And all these people, my followers, are gonna say everything I need to hear. I mean, this man has put out. Nefertia has gave him a coloring book, for Christ's sakes. Little sculptures, all kinds of things, and I just thought to myself, now the first time I ever saw this, I just thought, this can't be real. This just,
What do you remember the eyeball that he posted a picture of what he was calling the Bigfoot Eye, and it was actually a fish that was on the wall in the cottage.
Oh yeah.
And when it all came to light, he took a picture of the fish and he took a picture of the eye, and he proved, it was the exact same eye as the mounted fish on the wall. And people still don't want to believe it. They still.
Well, the thing with that though, the thing with that though is Mike Patterson is claiming that it's all real, and that
Still, yeah.
he's still claiming that it's real and that the activity is real, and so that there helps push his whole little narrative along. But it's really interesting, like, you know, if you kind of loosely follow him, like the back and forth that he has with that BFRO investigator that exposed him. You know, it's really interesting. But I don't even think Dwayne supports him anymore. That I think Dwayne even had a restraining order or something to stay off his property.
Oh, there was
because he
all
wouldn't.
kinds of
So
legal stuff that happened.
yeah,
in
so
that.
yeah, does he believe, like, does he truly believe what he's saying because he's been hoaxed, or, you know, is he going along with the hoax and trying to save face by trying to keep his old narrative going?
Yeah, it's amazing to me. Them when Mr. M.K. Davis came out with this Bigfoot massacre thing. Now I immediately was like, "Are you out of your mind?" But there were so many people. I lost a very, very, very close friend of mine because he said, "I back him," and because of all the years of research he's done. And I told this guy, my friend who lives in Oklahoma, he had a big following. He had a show. I did his show. Now there's nothing left from that. But he literally gave up our friendship to back this crap up. And I told him, I said, I'm straight up going hashtag I support Bob Gimlin, because this is crap. This whole thing is crap. But yet the multitude of followers, MK's got a multitude of followers on this. He's even claimed that he's got the rifle that Bob Gimlin used. Now, how would MK Davis get the rifle that Bob Gimlin used to help kill these Bigfoots?
He's got a fantastic story. That's what he has.
Yeah, he's got
and that's what people want to hear, is that, that scary, you know, wonderful story. That's all it is.
He knows this person that knows that person that got a hold of this. And,
Yeah.
you know, that's how all his stories kind of tend to go, is that because of this and this person, and I knew this person and they told me this, you know, whatever.
Okay.
You know. Stop turning everything red already.
He had the serial number and everything for this rifle, and poor Bob Gimlin, he was asked about it. You know, I was in the audience where Bob Gimlin was actually somebody confronted him at this WU conference and confronted him with this, well, what about that rifle? And what about the serial number? And Bob didn't know what to say, because he's like, I had a fire back then where everything I ever owned was destroyed. So I don't know where you're coming up with this, you know. And I've just felt awful for him to stand there live and have some asshole stand up and start demanding facts about this rifle, because this was somebody that was planted in this by, you know, a follower of the man we're talking about. So I just, what makes you? Why do you think these people do that, though? Why would you follow someone like that to the point where you'd go to a conference and mess with somebody who's up on stage from zero facts?
They trust and believe them, what they're presenting, you know, pretty much.
And that's true. What Tristan's saying. He was offered $1 million to buy. We talked about this already. I don't know his name. Doug Highcheck's company, because you could have made a whole season of these great shows just by saying, you know, getting Bob starts out a little bit here, starts out and then gets to the end.
Right.
That's, you know, so they offered him the money and he's like, no, because it really happened. So, and yet still these people don't care.
Well, you know, it's just a limited number of people who are just, you know, I think the lifespan of those type of followers is very short, you know, probably a few years, because they kind of start seeing through the shenanigans and kind of the BS, especially when they come across more legitimate stuff to counter that. So, you know, I don't really run into them very often, as much as others probably do, but Yeah, they're just kind of along for the ride and get all excited about something and then peter away like it is now. Nobody's really talking about the massacre, other than in hindsight. Nobody's really accusing anyone or anything. The whole thing kind of died down, and those people who made such a fuss over it, kind of. Well, the how to hunt dude.
Well,
he's still
yeah.
He's around. Yeah.
Well, that damn theory, it dies and then it comes back. It dies and then it comes back. Is debunked freaking 10 years ago.
Yes. And Thomas Steenberg has
crazy.
debunked that constantly. Debunked it.
Yeah, and him and Bill Miller.
Mm-hmm. And it keeps rearing its ugly head, though.
Yeah, it
It's
keeps
the
coming
thing.
back. It's hilarious. At one point, he goes, Bigfoot body parts in it, and it's on. I think I forgot what
the
site
skins and
on.
stuff.
Yeah, the skins and stuff.
The skins.
And then it was pointed out to him, and he's like, "Okay, that's not them." And then he admitted at coloring it, and he admitted it. And then he's like, "I'm done with this." And then he comes back.
I love his lives, though.
And then he comes back.
I love his lives, where he just like puts it all on the computer, like his camera on the computer. It's so funny.
That girl video is high end, man.
But I'm sure you guys heard the saying, a lie will circle the world before the truth has the chance to get its pants on or shoes on.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what this is. The lie will circulate a lot faster than the truth. And, that's kind of where a lot of us come in of talking about the truth and help keeping things freshened up, so, people can come into this with a better opportunity of getting to a place where they need to go and not on some sidetrack on somebody's little fantasy land.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I was a fan of his at a certain point early on because he did some great work.
Patterson?
Yeah. No.
Same here.
What's his name?
Short.
Davis. I was really happy with what he did early on with the Patterson Gimlin film. But then I saw one day he said he caught this white Bigfoot on film, and I thought to myself, well, me and about 4 or 5 other guys, we were talking privately, and we're like, that kind of looks like a cockatoo that's somebody did some work on with some film or something. And then MK does something a couple months later with his grandkids with the cockatoo in their house. And I was, God, you son of a bitch. That's a cockatoo. And then people called him out on that. No, that's a white Bigfoot. No, that's a cockatoo. I mean, he forgot to take the beak out. So that's I busted him with that and I got kicked off his channel. So
yeah,
that's another thing. Jeez, if you're telling the truth, why are you kicking us off? Come on, man.
Well, from what I understand, he was validating some Mike Sells videos.
Yeah.
So that should say enough. Mike Sells riding a bike. It's a white Bigfoot.
Hey, it's good to see
2 Bigfoots were fighting on the farm or something. Remember that?
Yeah.
one?
Yes.
Yep.
Pierce Rich is in the house. Thank you for showing up there, Steve-O. Where the Bigfoot was fighting the dog man.
Something like that. Yeah, whatever it was.
The big white Bigfoot was fighting the dog man. And it was these little stick figures about a half a mile away by this barn. And it was a good brawl. I was just like, oh my God. And people were like, he knows what he's talking about, mister. And I'm like, okay. The guy that steps over the fence, clearly a man stepping over a fence. And Kunbo told me that he actually exposed that as a hoax and that somebody had asked him to participate in it. And Kunbo told him, no, I'm not going to do that. He brought that forward some years ago, but nobody ever listens for some reason.
Wow.
To Kunbo. Yeah. Kunbo exposed that like years ago that was a fake and that he was asked to help fake it. So, yeah.
It's unending.
Yeah. But why? What makes you think that they do this? What is it they're after? Is it monetary? Is it followers?
Yeah, everyone is different. People like the Dyers and the Biscardis, they have one thing on their mind: money. Okay, everything they do is for the money.
Right.
The lies, the stories, everything is very calculated, and it has a purpose because it's a means to the end, and the end is the money.
And you know,
And then there's some who aren't like that.
right.
Some are not what we would call our traditional hoaxers. They just end up hoaxing because circumstances, almost beyond their control. They want to fit in. They want to be part of the bigger group. They want maybe a little bit of notoriety or for people to pay attention to them. And we have a hard time calling them hoaxers. They still are. But, maybe it's just not an A grade hoaxer. Maybe they're a D grade hoaxer.
That's what we should have, like a scale, like the severity of the hoaxing.
Okay, so
you heard it here first.
Steve Coles is
there you go.
Coles already has his porcupines.
Yeah.
So
he's already given us, I think, 4 porcupines, which I appreciate that, Steve. But maybe we should have a scale for hoaxers where we give them some credit. I mean, these guys put a lot of effort into this shit. Give them some porcupine skills too, I mean.
Yeah, they do, unfortunately.
Give them some rotten fish. 4 rotten fish.
Jay, what do you think about that hoax in the Washington Bigfoot Facebook group with that howl or that moan or whatever? And we're all like, "Oh, that's interesting." That's it's one of those things, huh?
Did y'all see what Curious Cryptid put out?
Amazing video.
That to me, showing how you can just alter some sounds and to create, and man, that's going to blow the roof off of everything because that's what people are doing. I can't say so much. I'm disappointed in I'm a member because people have asked me to do it, and I've fought it, so I'm doing it now. I'm a member of that group. I'm a member of several other groups. I don't fucking like it, man. So then I've got to say, well, I'm sorry, but I don't believe this, or why is that so blurry, or type of thing. And then people fuck with you. Why are you mad at me? Why? I ask you a simple question, and I don't know. I don't know, Brent. I don't believe that's a Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And I also, as far as we were talking about with Dyer, Nikki brought that up, is he got people twice. Okay. How stupid can you be?
More than that.
How can you follow people that get you twice? I mean, some rotten meat in a freezer with a gorilla suit, and then you fall for the dead Bigfoot he shot? Come on, man. That's
well, people want to be entertained, and he's a good entertainer. Rick is, he brought some flair to it, and people bought into it. And I remember back in that time with the Hank hoax that a lot of people went there, already knew it. People were lifting up the glass, and they could tell that it was kind of like a sideshow thing, and they got their laughs out of it. And I think people will pay for that mindless entertainment. It's like a reality TV show.
I just wanted to ask Curious Cryptid, was that from our camp? That sure did look like our camp, because I saw a fuzzy German Shepherd walk through that too, and I thought, hey, that looks like that may have been our camp. And he's not going to hoax it. If that was mine, he's going to tell the truth. Well, here's the thing: before Brent got up there, you couldn't have a fire, so I had that propane fire pit, and then when Brent was able to come up, just 2 weeks later, we were able to have an actual fire. So
yeah, they lifted the fire ban like a week prior. I was like, yes. And I was surprised with the lack of mosquitoes down there too. That was really nice.
Oh, I love it.
I was expecting to get carried away or something.
So it's snowed in right now, and you can't get up there, but I really would like to get up there. I just got contacted today from somebody that's got some credentials that wants to go with us to Bumping Lake and wants to do some scientific actual scientific work with us. So I told him, give me some time and I'll do some personal messaging, talking with you and things like that to get you going. But that's neither here or there. So let's move on. Thomas Cantrell, the man who tells an entire audience and Facebook and YouTube that he's been called somewhere in the deep forests of Canada. And he hitchhiked part of the way, took a train and a bus and got some rides and goes deep in the forest to witness Sasquatch weddings. Sasquatch who they decide in these Sasquatch rings that only happen every 7 years, who's going to be able to have a baby that year, and to sit there with all his Sasquatch pals and watch the royal birth of Sasquatch twins. Anyone?
I think it's very similar to like Matt Johnson. It's the only thing in life he can control, and nobody can really challenge him on it because he's the only one that's coming up with the information. So it's very similar to Matt, and it's unfortunate because he gets a lot of followers, and I've met him a few times, and he's a nice guy and stuff, but he's really adamant about what he says is true. So there's definitely a level of narcissism there that when you try to talk to him about something, he's unable to have that type of conversation, because no matter how much kid gloves you use, it's really hard. And you'll find that a lot, where a lot of those people who are being dishonest or in the fantasy land or whatever, they're unable to have those realistic, honest conversations, even again with the kid gloves. And when I think it's important when we're talking about hoaxers or bringing them out or something, that we do it in a way that doesn't give them ammo to defend themselves. Right. There was a recent incident where it's like somebody said something, but the way that they presented the question was so accusatory that it caused such an issue that was the main focus. It wasn't the question itself. It was that, like, for instance, when I first called out Carl with the one video, I pretty much, it was a long conversation I had in the under the video there, but it was really precise of point by point of what's kind of wrong with his story and stuff. So he couldn't really go after me for any other reasons, and that's why he chose to go after the other people. But I think that's really important, is when we do talk about them, is we do it in a way to not give them any ammo to defend themselves, because I think in that defense is where they are able to retain a lot of those followers, and because they don't make it about what's being said, they're making about they're the victim and woe is me.
Yep. What do you think, Nikki? Do you know anything about it?
Well, I can remember when I first started watching to see what he was all about, and right away it wasn't for me, but I remember watching where he actually got Bob Gimlin involved too in some of his little chanty circles.
He claims Bob's his best friend,
doing their little, and then rolling around, and it was very weird. And more power to them if that put them in the right chakra or whatever they were doing. But that wasn't for me, So I kind of left it at that. And it kind of also got remember Barb Shoop? And she kind of got like that and into that and banging the drums and all that stuff. I don't buy into that at all. But if they do and it makes them happy, that I don't have a problem with. I really don't have a problem with okay, like he swears he believes in what he's saying.
Right. Okay? Yes.
So it's quite a different thing than somebody knowing that, okay, this is bullshit, but I'm going to say this, and this, and I'm going to get 1,000 likes, and I'm going to, that's different. To me, that's different.
Yeah.
A kooky is kooky, and they can do what they, want to do, and that's when you go on and find something else. But yeah, I remember, him and all his conferences and all his campouts, and I mean, he can't walk anymore. Can he walk at
No,
all
he can't.
anymore?
He has a walker, and he
No, he actually has he's got a scooter that he actually almost hit me
He's
with
got a
by
scooter
accident.
now?
Yeah,
Wow.
this last summer. It was totally
So-
accidental, but
Mm-hmm.
he's still doing the conference thing.
Sure.
Come on, Shaun, tell us what you.
I'm gonna knock the tall ones down the sides. Oh no.
I'm like, oh my God, he's going to turn, right? And then it's like, oh, he turned at the last second. I'm like, whew. It's like bearing down on me.
You ain't so tall.
I saw Time Control. I saw one video and I stopped listening to him where he was like, oh yeah, Patty Mine spoke to me and she said, yes, I am Patty. And I went, how the hell does she know her name's Patty?
Yeah.
Shit. Good question. Well, he told her in a previous Mind Speak.
Well, yeah, but what if she said, I want to be Susie?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Plus,
She must have rolled with it.
He claims that he talked to her in 2014. He claims that she's had several children and everything's okay. And the thing is, now when he told I was in that. Now my wife's a whole lot smarter than me, trust me. So I'm eating this up. I'm there because I wanted to talk to Mitchell Townsend, because he was somebody I considered a teacher and a help to me. Before I realized that he went completely over the edge woo. And plus I wanted to talk to Ron and Carrie. They were there because that's who basically carries them now, is the woo places and stuff. And so I wanted to see these people and talk to them and everything. But oh my God, Tom had me, and here he's up on stage and he's like telling you about these every 7-year things, how he gets there, how he witnesses all these things, and then to watch the royal birth of twins. And the women in the audience, all 7 of them, because there wasn't, I don't think, 25 people there. And they're, and he's talking about the one had one blue eye, and the other one was hazel-eyed or whatever. He just went on, and he speaks that very he flows with it.
Yeah.
Now, I have one of his books, and he actually tells a story, a fake story. He tells you that this is a story he likes to tell, or something that's like that in this book. And that's the narrative he follows in real life, though, is that my problem with this kind of stuff is you're going to get somebody killed. I firmly believe, because I've been confronted with the aggressive ones, and I don't think they're going to harm you when you're too close. 9 miles from town, I think that now when I look back that we would have been okay, but I think you're going to get somebody killed if you start telling them that you can just walk, and he guarantees you that he will walk in between you and the Sasquatch and settle your problems. He's got people, a whole network of people following him, following these ideas and defending him.
Right.
I mean, defending him to the point where, you better lock your door that night.
Well, it's the same, ideals that people who follow Matthews and think that his Sasquatch can heal, and they don't, and then they die.
Yes.
And yeah, it's supposedly his own choice and everything, but that harmed somebody, those ideals harmed somebody then. But then you've got some that don't harm anybody. And Pat in the chat wants me to mention Kelly Ray, who was a close friend of Pat's and mine, who had an extraordinary story of growing up with a Sasquatch. Okay. And he believed his story. He told his story exactly every time. he didn't deviate from the way he told his story. So he made it very believable, and his answers came quick as lightning. Okay, whatever you would ask him. But I wouldn't consider him a hoaxer. You know, he believed in every word he said, everything that came out of his mouth.
Well, is it comparable to like C. Wayne Wilson?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and that was the other person I was going to mention. I couldn't remember. I could only remember Wilson.
And that guy and C. Wayne, dude, I love that dude. That dude is awesome.
He is awesome.
He is very awesome. He handles everything in a great stride. I thought his little introduction into his world was really fascinating and kind of enlightening in some ways.
Right.
But you know, it's something he truly believes, and it seems like it's not hurting him in a way, anyways. You know, like
Right.
negatively.
He's not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
And he's living in his own world, and that's okay by him. You know.
Welcome, Leon. Thank you for coming.
Hey,
yeah, welcome. I caught up on you. I'm following you. I'm pushing the wrong buttons here. Good conversation, gentlemen and ladies. And Mrs. Barbecue.
there she is.
You're a good balance for him, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
100%. I think there's another way is looking at it too. When you guys kept thinking, well, you know, why do people do this, or why don't they change, or why do they so gullible? You know, when people are getting scammed, like just the general population, when you get scammed by people, like the phone call rings and it's the IRS and they're coming to get you, and the sheriff's department's on its way right now if you don't pay this money by going over to Target to get a shopping gift card. Yeah, that makes total sense. It's pretty embarrassing, and that's probably why I think it's over 90% people don't actually report it because they're just too embarrassed about the whole thing. And so when you look at people online that are pretty just interested, I mean, you guys watched all sorts of shows when you were kids because you were interested in the show. You weren't expecting the show to take you on a ride of scammery. You know, like any kind of show, whether it's a soap opera or anything like that. There's this other thing that seems to be on the online environment that is, what's another way of saying it without being too offensive? You could kind of pretend like there's different stages online in regards to YouTube channels, and some are children in a sandbox. Some are that of children in the playground. Some of that ends up being the teens that are at the smoke pit having their afternoon smoke because they're 14 and 15 and want to be cool. In my day, I know that's not a thing in the younger generation, but they're doing other things. And so when you're kind of overlooking the system, I guess, what I see is I don't think it's the people's fault. I think the problem is they got stuck in the sunken cost fallacy because they invested into people because they like them. I mean, I'm pulling all my videos off line here, not like pulling them right off, but what I'm doing is I'm putting them in private or unlisted because I want to unfold every single video I ever did to show people how gullibly opened I was in doing the process. Because that will shut everybody up in regards to who come after me. Don't tell me I don't understand where you are because I was exactly where you are.
Right.
The problem is after 5 years, moving on 6 years now, I can't believe Brent, it's been almost 6 years.
I know, huh? Time's flying.
And the first 3 years were just full of magical ponies and
wonder. Woo, kid in a candy store.
Everything.
I want to take that Bigfoot and that one there.
Yeah, you got to go to the magic fairy Bigfoot tree. I've never been there. Yay, good for you. It's like Lord of the Rings in New Zealand. You know, like
with the Mordor.
You know, part of our tone too and our own, we have to be cautious not to get cognitive dissonance ourselves because of just seeing garbage all the time. It makes you want to throw out everything immediately, or you're not as open as you were, in a way, open-minded when we first got in here, which also got us into trouble because we were trusting the source, and those sources aren't, you know, they're not at all reliable force. And that was a hell of a, I don't know about you guys, but man, that was a hell of a hit to me when I realized, and I deal with this stuff, but I was coming into this as a break, psychological break from dealing with heavy stuff that I do with at work. I thought it was fun. I thought it was kind of hanging out with other interesting people, like camping. So there's that level when you first got on, and then you get serious, and then you start to notice some quirkiness. That quirkiness seems to alert you to other quirkiness. And the quirkiness starts really making itself prevalent. And then you realize that people who were doing the quirkiness actually were kind of I wouldn't say motivated. It's like if you come into if you met Christians, don't come at me about that. I have Christian education degrees. So you don't have to come and harp on me about attacking. But the bottom line is they're parroting Christians. You know, they just automatically quote scripture all the time. They never talk like that anywhere in their lives. Or if you come to a fundamentalist evangelical prayer group, listen to how people pray. How many times did they say Jesus in the prayer? And Lord Jesus, we do this, and Jesus, and we want you to, and Jesus, thank you, this, and Jesus. And do you talk that normally to anybody? Hey, Brent, how's it going, Brent? I hope you're having a great time, Brent. Hey, Brent, I like your hat today, Brent. Oh, Shaun, how's it going too? I like your background tonight. It's really good, Shaun. Shaun, you don't keep mentioning people's names. So what that psychologically, if you're listening to that and take Jesus' name out and put anybody else's name there, you would think there was something off with the person. And that's how vulnerable, unfortunately, the human condition is. And I try to show how gullibly I am with it, to show that I don't get out of this. That's why you have to be aware of other forces and games your brain does automatically for you, trying to help you out by filling in the blanks, coming up with the narration in your mind that you hear in your own thinking process as your own voice in your thought process. And it says, Sasquatch goes through portals. Sasquatch can change from a porcupine into butterfly into, I don't know how that works.
The secret word is porcupine. You just won.
Ding, 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 ding. No, you guys said that. But the other side of it too is, like, we have talked about this, and it's really got rapid recently, because about 6 months ago we talked about a few channels that actually could have this conversation. I think we're up to 12 to 14 channels now. But the next part for us is each of us, because we're going to get inbred in a way if we keep all connecting up. When you look at the chat here, I was watching 2 shows last night or the other night. Can't remember what night it is. I don't even know what day it is right now, but it was almost the same audiences, which is fine, which means it's great that we're kind of really networking solid with depth to it. But the idea about each of us having our own channels is to start reaching out into these other parts of the community and just put our channels onto those communities, because then it's gonna start really snowballing after a while.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if we're just on our 12, we got 12 channels, and if the person comes on, they might see us on different channels, which is nice. But if people, we're hogs when it comes on to, feeding off the trough of Bigfoot in regards to our channels that are all linked together. And after a while, for a viewer at home, they will view that as being kind of saturation of it. And they're not, we've got that platform or that landing you guys have all got yourself on, which I think is absolutely refreshingly brilliant. I mean, all of us in regards to the network. But the time is to send the show out to other Prime, Netflix, all these other areas.
That's us. We're expanding. I've got Robert Michael Pyle coming on. I've got
oh no shit. Wow.
So that's what we were talking about you today,
that's
Jay.
awesome.
Jerry and I, we thought, well, Shaun too, you as well, is I like it when you guys get unique people that have nothing really that most people could get online. That's what needs to keep. That's your channel. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Each of you guys, including me, I got to go do what I got to go do. I'm not here. I'm great. There's a community here, but that's what we're here to do, is do whatever our niche is, and just keep saturating that. And these other people, when Brent, you posted about Mike Patterson coming back, that list. I think it was you that posted that video, wasn't it? Or was it you? I can't remember who. Somebody posted just a couple of days ago, and I clicked on it and watched it, and he's coming back.
Yeah,
he's coming.
I forgot.
Back.
I thought he was already back. I didn't know he left, actually.
Yeah.
Well, that
nice. Was weird. Yeah. I saw that too.
Somebody wrote a song.
It's like a grand opening.
Yeah, it was like I'm bringing hoaxies back. it's really something to see these guys that they can't give it up. I mean, you have a few people that have been busted and can't come back because people had real faith in them. You know, Nathan Rio, people like that. They just blew it. They blew it, and that's it. Whereas you got these other people who were over the top. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. When we hadn't been in the woods for all them years, and I was going through the internet and all that, and I came upon the talking Sasquatch, Nefertia. I told her, I said, this guy's got a friend that's a Sasquatch that talks. Listen to this. I was just, I was craving it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Yeah,
totally. I was craving it. I needed it.
Yeah.
And so I fell for it, but then I quickly unfell for it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's
It's like, oh, it's great. It's like,
if anyone's sitting here getting online about Bigfoot, you are the same way, and all of us were the same way. At least us who are researchers are the same way. I'm not sure. I can't speak for Nikki and Shaun because they're kind of main podcasters. So, and that's nice to have them out of it because they didn't go through it in a way. I may be overjumped the gun there, so you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. But I mean, we were in it. You know, we were in there. We wanted to meet these people that all knew about Sasquatch. We were like totally like you're saying, Jay. Like it was like and then when he heard those sounds, you know, Mike, you know, the Brent he had in the snow and all this kind of stuff, man. You were totally like. You already had the framing framework in your mind, and he was giving you the visual and the audio stuff to put on that framework, and it was brilliant, but it was not correct. It was not correct, and we were like bass in the middle of a nice sunny day, and a guy's fishing for us, hook in our mouths, and we're getting reeled right in, but when it's not from a person who's coming online's position, it's the responsibility of the channel to be forthright, and that's where things well, I don't think they got murky. I think at first everyone thought that was normal and it was truthful because they were gullible and it was still new, and then people asked the right questions, and more people asked the right questions, and more people asked the right questions, and eyes went on. And I think a lot of people are afraid about eyes on me. Like one day people will analyze me. Well, who is this guy and what's he do and all this kind of stuff. And if I can't trust me with my truth, then I'm going to present a different you, an image of what you think I should be. But if you did any digging around, like heaven forbid Nikki become a ferret in my life, or Steve Culls, I'm doomed, right? Unless I don't own my life. That's the only way I'm doomed. If I'm hiding something, I'm doomed. But if I'm not hiding anything and they need explanation or understanding of what I do and stuff like that, I would just share that with them. And they would ferret that out, and that's good. That's what they're supposed to do. That's releasing the hounds in a way on me. But you don't have to be that harsh with people. I only use that phrase because what we've walked into as a guy who looks at systems and see this system, the babies and the toddlers need a bit of a paddling on their bums. But all the toddlers who are watching it don't like that they're getting a paddle. And the problem with that is they react to us not understanding that maybe we're seeing or perceiving something. We're not out spanking the hell out of these people. That's not even close what we're doing. But if you have a responsibility not to hurt yourself or others, and if a little quick jab about it's a porcupine is a porcupine, the call is that of a coyote. The call is a coyote.
Right. You
have to do the little spank. Again, I love this quote, obviously, because I've been saying it a lot of times. It's just, the truth will set you free, but after you get conned, it'll piss you off.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll piss you off. And also it'll piss you off because I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be the person who was taken in by someone in India who convinced me to go down to Target and get 5 different gift cards to send him because I thought he was the IRS.
Yeah.
I mean, who wants to be that guy? I don't want to be that guy, but I'm gullible to be that guy. And that's the whole point of what I'm trying to point out when we're in the system here. You need these little module channels that are starting to come up now because we're starting to network good quality stuff. And we need to keep doing and trusting your way of doing it humbly, openly, fairly, sincerely. um, and do your show, not my show. Don't try to mimic me.
Right.
Try to mimic each other. It's your personalities that they're attracted to. And the problem is, we thought the other personalities were worth the value of what I'm talking about here with the 14 channels that we're getting networked together with, right? Though we're all honest people. I mean, Joe's a pretty damn honest guy. You know, when I met up with Dave through Cornell, I like Dave. I think Dave is, when I know Dave, I'm meeting Dave. And that's kind of what you're looking for, you know, and that's kind of the network we're talking about, is those style of people.
Right.
I totally agree. You know, I try to bring good quality people into the circle, and just because it's good to expand it, and there's so many good people out there that have so many different qualities that we can learn from, and that will strengthen the whole overall search for the subject and make it so much better, especially if everything kind of flow together with it.
Yeah, but we don't want to be kind of like, you know, here's a nice grassy field, and we're all goats. We all come in from our channels, and we're all hanging around each other, and pretty soon we eat up everything around.
Well, we've already talked, her and I. I'm going to get barbecue people. I'm hoping to get Malcolm Reed on, or maybe Rye from Cooking with Rye, and have an episode of straight up cooking and talking barbecue. I've got Robert Michael Powell. I'm trying to get David Cross. If I can get David Cross to come on too, he's the one that played the character. But I've already got Robert Michael Powell. I'm also looking at other people. I got Tristan for part 2, because his sounds are legitimate. This kid is the real deal. I got him for part 3 with Shaun. Because I think that we should share some of this stuff amongst us, but at the same time, we want to be. I want to focus on food. I want to focus on people that a lot of people wouldn't even think to come on. Plus, in the state of Washington, there's a whole lot of researchers here that don't get a lot of credit. I want to feature them. I'm going to have Tristan's mom on too. And there's another person that was Tristan had recommended to me to talk to. And so, you know, I want to focus that, but I want to remain in this group of great people, and things like tonight. I don't want to do this every week. I have a plan. I have a schedule, and I want to stick to my schedule. I don't want to say, fuck, I brain farted, couldn't get what I wanted, so let's just call it a free for all or whatever. I want to make plans, do it right, make sure the guest is going to be here, that kind of thing. I want to corroborate with. I talk with Nikki a lot. She's just one of those people. I mean, Monda loves her too. I love all you guys, but Nikki's that person. Nikki gets the exclusive with her. So, I mean, and that's going to make a big difference. I think that's going to make a big difference to finally get her to come out of her shell and talk about what happened. So that's no, I think that's important. It is. And so
it'll make him feel better. I know.
No, it'll make a lot of people feel better. No one knows what she was going through, looking at me, watching me, what was happening with me, what's happened with me all these years, until I finally found you guys and got on that path of wellness. So that's important for people to hear. And so what I want to move on to now, we've still got time, lots of time. Whoever, does anybody know who Arla Colette Williams is in this group? Okay, so that's another one that I fear. I met her personally. I got a picture with her. I have her book. Another person that I fear is dangerous if people follow them. To believe that you could walk up to a Bigfoot, that you could literally walk up to them. That's irresponsible to me to tell people that, to tell people you basically raised one, and that your mentor and your teacher is a Bigfoot with a name, and then she will go online 2 or 3 days a week on Facebook and post what her teacher Bigfoot tells her to post, and people follow her. Like I got so beat to shit because I said you are a liar. I was a friend of hers. I followed her for a while, but this Kashima thing, where I was just like, what the hell are you? These clever things, clever things. and I'm just like, and then Tom Cantrell texts me and says, what gives you the right? Who do you think you are to question Arthur Colette Williams? She's my mentor. I was like, sorry, dude. But she's telling you that this Kashima is her mentor, her teacher, and she'll tell you all these great things several times a week on Facebook. So, Shaun,
Hmm?
go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. My mind just shut off.
She's the one with the
I know
Bigfoot
now.
that's
Yeah.
called Blue, isn't she?
Yes, I think.
Where you
Blue is
just
the
see the
one
top
she-
of the head.
Yeah.
Blue
peeking
is the
up
one
out of
she
the thing.
says she raised. Okay, Kashima
Blue. Yeah.
is her teacher, but Blue is the one she claims she raised. Okay, basically raised. So, go ahead, Shaun.
She was raised by aliens, by Bigfoot. What?
No, she raised Blue. She raised
Blue
helped
the
raise the
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. He was her buddy.
Okay, I know who you're talking about now.
Okay, yeah.
I wonder if I can find that photo while you guys are talking.
It's not
Yeah,
a
that would
photo,
be
it's a drawing.
great.
She claims it's a photo, it's a drawing, and it's bad.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's
Oh
a
wow.
Wow.
I did not know that.
Well, you're intercepting that. I'll go back a little bit to what we were talking about. Just
Yeah,
a little
please.
bit to put an end on that. For me, I look at one thing we noticed is when one of us got, as far as the network went, got somebody good, then you notice that everyone else in the network seemed to pull that same person in.
Mm-hmm.
So we all got to see the same person on all these different channels. And I would suggest a little different way, which is thinking about differently, which is we are needing each other now.
Right.
And how we are needing each other is with you guys going and finding your interesting people so we can learn from your channels. You following what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what we're doing.
That's what that's the next step is we need to do that because we need it for each other because we're going to be, you can only eat craft dinner for so long.
Right.
We need to bring the next step. Let's try something new. It's like when Nikki's all of a sudden I catch her in the afternoon or early morning and she's making tortillas or whatever they are, or chili. And I thought, well, this is kind of nice. I'm just hanging around this morning.
I loved it.
Listen to her do that,
I want to do an episode with Nikki where we just cook.
Yeah, that would
Oh
be
my
fun.
gosh.
I would love to do that.
You should see me today. I made a big old pot of pozole.
Mm.
I'm
Speechless. Jeez. Oh.
And then the other thing I wanted to show you, as you guys were talking, you're still supposed to be thinking about what we were talking about before, but I went and did horse therapy the other day. And the person who taught the horse therapy course, she gave us all cards. And the card said that word right there. Wait. It's the first step is wait. And wait is an acronym for why am I talking? Why am I talking? If I'm going to host something, why am I talking? I shouldn't be talking. I'm hosting something. They should all be talking.
Right.
How do I network and produce the show so that there's a flow and direction beginning, as Jerry says, from Western Sasquatch. There's a beginning for them, a middle for them, and an ending for them. And that's kind of our responsibility to assist people to do that, which we do. But I think it's, we have to keep plugging away at that instead of being able to casualize it down, because as soon as we do that, the quality is going to drop again. And after a while, you get old, you don't want to do it. You just want to do the old way, You want to sit around as a 58-year-old fat guy. Just shoot the crap with everybody. Well, parts of me do, but the other parts want to get out in the bush again, So Brent can go places I can't go anymore. Nick is the same way. Justin's the same way. I try to support them and I get good information from them. Anyways, so I mean, in regards to really worrying about the other side of it, that we're kind of, it's kind of like the scent. We're a gold coin and when somebody shoved us into a whole bunch of horse shit. And we've been so much shit for a long time. We feel it's just all
Right.
shit out here. But you have to go get your gold coin. But what do you do with the stench of the gold coin? Well, you wash it off. That's what you do. And what the stench is how it's affected your nervous system, your feelings, and your thoughts about what the idea is. And that's kind of what we're at right now. We're really just beginning that stage of brushing all that off so we can go do what we started, the first reason we started this. But now we have different brains. And now we can do it correctly, mature, and better, especially for people watching for each other. Like some of the stuff you guys drag up, Jay, that video of that guy doing those sounds of the Sierra sounds was brilliant, man. I think that was you that posted that, wasn't it?
Yep.
There he is. There he is.
I personally believe they're bullshit, and so I'll stand by that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the guy who did those mimic calls, though.
Yeah.
That is what we want. Mimic calls. We want somebody to show us mimic calls. We want somebody to show us how to snow excavate and film it. So when you look down, you can check out any track in the snow and see what the bloody track is. We want that visual data, if we can get some of that. It's really helpful for all of us. Like, that's a neat idea. You know, that's a cool idea. Leon, what are you guys doing? Well, we're blitzing out all the way down for almost the Washington State border from us, from British Columbia up to Salmon Arm, which is hundreds of miles.
Right.
We're going to blitz the population. If you come across what you believe to be a Sasquatch track and you think there is, please contact us. And then they'll phone us. But we're not going to go down there yet. We're going to get them to film it for us using their cell phones now that we have technology. And then we're going to tell them what to do and what not to do. And they're going to film that for us as we're watching it. And then we're going to show them how to excavate it. Because if they pull it apart and excavate it and get to the bottom, it's not a moose track and it is a Sasquatch track, boy, I'll be able to watch them be ecstatic about that, which tells me this is one to check out. I don't need to send all of my reserves in every call using citizen researchers, even though they're not aware that they are that. But I can guarantee if one of those people get into that and find an actual track like that, they're going to be on our side immediately. Right. They're going to come into the network. Good
night, Donald. Thank you for coming tonight.
And I think that's the idea about what you guys are doing is watching you guys just do you. And you're going to have to protect and guard that, man. Boy, you can tell already it's affected us by being in the community. But we're, like I said, we're wiping that stench off, that nervous system impact of that's been on us, because we don't want to carry our own cognitive distance and not be able to listen.
That's right.
To people. So
we're trying to get fresh things going. And all these, the reason why I personally invited these people and you, because I know Joe's probably not available tonight and all that, and Pat's in the chat, so I'm glad to have him there and everything. But I do more talking with you guys, especially Brent. I talk a lot with Brent. I talk as much as I can with Shaun, and I, me and the wife love Nikki. We talk with Nikki a lot. And, I share with you, I'm grateful to you, Leon. I'll always be grateful to you for helping me get out of this thing. You taught me something I needed to learn. And, you showed me how to slow myself down. All these things, it took well over a year. But if it wasn't for you and some of these guys like Steve, Curious Cryptid, those type of people, Pat, I would have never achieved where I'm at right now because of that. And this network of people is what got me there. You guys got me here, Nikki.
Well, I think the person to your right there was
and her,
yeah, of course. For sure. I mean, it was great when I first got to see her. I don't know your first name at all. I just know you.
This is Monda.
Monda. Okay.
It's Mrs. Barbecue.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought, well, there's a delight. There's a delight right there.
Almost 40 years. We've been together almost 40 years.
Amazing couple too. Amazing hosts. It was great company.
I appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so much fun. Can't wait to get back down.
Oh God, I can't wait. I want to get. I would love to have Nikki here. Leon, you're only about 6 hours away.
Well, it's not a big drive for me. I'm driving 1,000 miles, man.
Oh my God.
Big Canadian, so, but I have to point out one thing is I do have lasagna, so I'm going to kind of be off the screen and then on screen. I'm still listening, but I just.
What do we have? We have what is that?
What are we doing?
The food.
We have Alfredo.
Alfredo. We have a big thing of Alfredo after the show.
So if you see me block off, that's where I'm
That's
at.
cool.
Getting it out of the oven. I want to make sure it's a golden cheese melt on there, you know,
Mhm.
a right crispy gold look to it, not the black cheesy topping. Anyways, had nothing to do with Sasquatch. So write down the word wait, and I'll keep practicing it because I'm notorious for it. Why am I talking, Leon? Leon, shut up. Why am I talking?
We're going on to the next person.
Oh, goody. Okay, good.
He comes from Canada.
Oh my God! Don't tell me it's
TS.
Todd Stanley.
I knew it. I wish Mike Patterson was here.
Yeah.
I have a comment about Mike Patterson's last video too, when he said, "Well, do you know Dr. Bindernagel? He doesn't use my name because of the heat he got under,
Oh,
for
geez.
stuff like that." And I thought, I had this conversation. Actually, John talked to me about this conversation. I didn't bring it up, and John told me that's not at all. It's because he had garbage. That's why.
Yeah.
You can't send his name over and his professional colleagues goes and checks his channel out. What are you going to find? Garbage. And how's John going to feel as an academic PhD wildlife biologist? Pretty stupid.
Yeah, a lot of people like to use John.
Like he's been scammed by somebody in India phoning him about the IRS. Like it's not a good
Brent,
thing.
that's right. A lot of people like to use John because he was too kind to say. I remember listening to him the week before he died on Sasquatch Chronicles, and Wes had asked him, "What did you think about that?" After, what do you think of? He said, "What did you think about the release of that documentary that Todd Stanley had put out?" And I paid for it like an idiot, and I watched it, but I loved Dr. Bindernagel, and he said it is what it is. Now this guy had so much class. He wasn't even in death gonna say this son of a bitch. He just said it is what it is. But here's what we bought. We got to see a Muppet with no eyelids, with literally, you know, the teddy bears you buy your kids, those that if you give your dog one of those, you have to pull the eyes out because you don't want them choking on it, type of thing. And then the second one was this stiff studio shot, obviously, because I've talked to people that know cameras and all that other stuff. Studio shot, and they could tell you what camera he used, what brand of camera, the whole style of the blinky thing, just that wink.
Oh yeah, totally. Edge door.
But then the end with the my camera was dying, and as he jumped and landed on, you know, military style, pulled out the camera, that was no good. Pull out the other one, and he's got the guy with the vein that goes, you know, and got the wrinkled forehead. That's I'm an ex-soldier, okay? That's called grease paint, and we painted our faces with that stuff. That's what that is. And I can't tell you how many people wanted to fight me, literally wanted to fight me. That thing's easily 370 pounds. What the heck? You know, I mean, I was just like, what? And then I had a friend, I worked with a guy when he first came out with that Sylvanic thing, with the first one with no eyelids and all that stuff, and it's just the teddy bear eyes, and you can see this thing on right here and then right here. And so I asked this guy at work. He actually was a professional FX guy, even though he didn't go into it as a living, but he would charge money every Halloween he would make whatever you wanted to be made. So I brought that to him without telling him a thing. I said, "Can you do this?" He looked at it, he goes, "Oh yeah, that's easy." He goes, "But look at this. Whoever did this did a bad job because they messed it up right here and then tried to fix it." And then I told him, this is a guy who claims this is a Sasquatch, and he's already got $900,000 for this. And he goes, "You're kidding me. I could do that over and over and over." And so, yeah. So, Shaun.
Wow.
Yeah,
You know, what gets me is, you know, I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, so Leon explains it best, but objectivity just goes a long way. Somebody goes, I filmed Sasquatch, and then you get the people who can vet it, and you share that, and people still go, nah, they're just out to get him. No, maybe he's out to get you.
Yeah.
Why don't you ask yourselves, is this guy out to get me? There's nothing wrong with that. As much as we want something to be, I want everything to be real. You got to vet it if you really want to know what it is. It doesn't matter if you trust the person. It could be my best friend. If he came and said, I filmed a Sasquatch, I'd be like, all right, let me see the original file. Like, give me the SD card. I'll get the metadata. Oh, no, I'm not doing that. Okay, well, then I don't believe you filmed a Sasquatch. And that's where we end it. Because that's how you properly vet things. I think, some researchers think once they come out of the woods, the research is over.
Oh, lay down.
And that's the other problem. The research isn't over once you get out of the woods. And just because you believe your audio is a Sasquatch, well, let other people have at it too, Let them confirm, hey, at least this is legit audio. There's no fakery. There's no this. It just brings value to something other than a statement. It gives value to something.
Well, it's nice too to watch like Brent and Steve and that, and have these kind of guys on,
right?
Everybody on, where you get excited when you want to show somebody something, and somebody who might know something more that you don't know.
Correct.
Like audio sounds, and being able to put that on the spectrum, and then show us what he is looking at, like his last video he did, showing us 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? I don't know. I've never seen this kind of stuff before. Then he shows where you're looking on the screen and what you're looking for. And that's the solidness of it, because it just becomes this, again, low, shallow arguments about things. But if I can see it and then say, no, because I've looked at it, I've broken it down, I've seen it on there, I can see the 4 different layers, and I can understand the metadata and explain metadata. But it's easier for us to stay in that low area. And that's because we came out for entertainment. We didn't come out to think. Watching Game of Thrones, you think I came on there to have philosophical thought processes in my head? I need a huge escape of reality. I'm watching Game of Thrones, binging it for 8 hours, But I didn't come on for the original reason. And then I got more interested in. And so that idea of, just making everything a little more deeper, clarified, specific. So when it's cool, like, it's cool. It's just neat. No, it's not that. It's this song. When Matt goes back into the bush and figures out what it is and comes back and tells us all, he raises this positioning 100% from everything else that's online, because it helps me understand. I don't have Matt's giftings, especially with how he knows about cameras and filming and settings and all that. I don't have any of that stuff. And so that's why it's important that if you guys keep doing your stuff, I can learn from you guys too.
Nikki, what do you think, honey?
He's been around a long time, and I don't dog him or put him down for his boots on the ground approach to stuff. Okay. He really does get out there. He really is out there in Nordegg. Exactly. He really does charge a lot of money to take people out there to, see whatever they see. And that's fine. I think in my world, he probably did see a Bigfoot at one time.
I agree.
And he may have caught it on video, and we are seeing something real in one of his clips. But when it didn't develop, what happened?
Shaun.
Oh,
he's like,
what? Not me. I wouldn't do that. All right, I would, and did.
Go ahead, Nikki.
I'm sorry,
Shaun. Shame.
Todd, I love you, man.
Shame. Okay. I was just gonna say, see, you destroyed me now.
Sorry.
He got lost because he wasn't able to duplicate what he had seen before. And I think along the way he may have gotten a little desperate and thought he could create either what he had seen or what he wanted to see.
That's
but
true.
there's no way had those videos of the heads were true that he wouldn't have by now showed us the footage before and the footage after.
Right. Exactly.
There's
Nick.
no way.
Right.
He would have been charging, and there's a lot of people who would pay to see the beginning and the end of that. It doesn't matter if he would have charged, people would have paid for it.
That's right.
So it's just it's not there. And then all the other red flags all throughout, the okay, yeah, I have a pair of gorilla gloves in the back of my little 4x4 all the time. That's normal. It's not normal. He had the opportunity of having production companies at the time. He had the opportunity of having assistants in creating this. I wish that at the time when I first started to look into him, I swear I had seen a photograph of the clip from the newspaper where he was hiring actors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think I saw
Okay,
that.
that's existed,
The
but I
Reverend
can't
had
find
that.
it. I don't have a copy of it. That was like 15 laptops ago.
Contact
Yeah.
Reverend. Contact the Reverend.
So
Jeff Kelly, he's got it.
he does. See, I
Yes.
know it's out there. I just
Yeah,
didn't know
he's
who
got
has
it.
it because I
Cole's
can't
probably
find it
has it
online
too.
anymore.
Yeah, and Cole's probably has it too. Steve's probably got
Yeah,
it.
somebody probably has it. I mean, it doesn't have. People are still going to love him and believe
Yes,
him
exactly.
and think he's the best thing, next to toilet paper. Okay, they're gonna love him. So
That's a good,
we're
good
not going
combo.
to change. We're not going to change that. He's fighting to help them, right? His whole thing is that he wants to create a better environment for them and that we protect them and blah blah blah. So he always puts out a great storyline,
Yeah, he's entertaining. I'll give him that.
to
Well,
work towards.
Steve's right though. Shortly after all that, he hooked up with Ivan. So that's come on, Ivan. Ivan has got this. I call at a woo meeting, of course.
Yeah.
He called a Sasquatch, from
Mhm.
Russia. Then he's got some documentary out. We're raising the damn thing. So, but nobody ever heard of this. I've sat next to him 4 years ago at that Woo conference. I sat right next to him, and no, that at that conference he never said anything about that. So, I was look. I don't believe it, but so we got something
Yeah.
going.
I don't know.
And yeah, he had some enough clout to get Les Stroud out there and Meldrum, and who else did he have?
Dr. Bendernagel.
Bendernagel.
Dr. Meldrum. I asked Dr. Meldrum 4 years ago at Squash Fest 2. So you really think that Todd Stanley is legitimate, huh? And he said, I do not give Todd Stanley an A. That was Dr. Meldrum's words to me. I do not give Todd Stanley an A.
There's money involved with all that, so we have to consider that we don't know what they've signed. We don't know what money
Right.
took exchanged.
Mhm.
So they were there. They got what they wanted. They got their notoriety. They got their show. Les got a great show out of it. And he remained neutral through the whole thing. He did a great job. I thought Les did a real good job about dealing with Todd. I think when he did his series, his
Survivor Man Bigfoot.
yeah, but the one where he goes and he watches it and talks about it. Behind the scenes thing. That one's very good because, he says, hey, it is what it is. And I went out there and I experienced my own things, and he had already had his own experiences. So, he was ready for whatever came, and director's cut or whatever it is, that one it's really good.
The only thing that bothered me about that documentary was Standing trying to get Meldrum to say he saw a Sasquatch, and Meldrum's like, "No, I didn't. I
Nope.
saw a silhouette." And he kept going, "Say you saw a Bigfoot." And and when he was showing him the impressions where this thing was standing, we don't even see the impressions he's
Right.
looking at.
Oh,
So
he
it's
loves
like,
to
dude,
lead.
you could
If
just
you
be
listen-
making that up.
Well,
If you listen to the way Standing talks, he's constantly leading you to the answer he wants you to believe in.
Dr.
Okay,
Benner
constantly.
Nichols said on Wes's show that he and Dr. Meldrum had signed a thing that said that they couldn't. Todd Stanley had to release the video or the movie before they could say anything. So he used them how he wanted to use them,
and edit it how he wanted to too.
and that's why Dr. Meldrum said, "I do not give him an A," and Dr. Brendan Nichols said that it is what it is because they were under contract.
Well, I mean, all you do is have to Google Todd Standing, just Google his name, and what does it bring up? He's a filmmaker. You know, if you look at the filmmaking business, there's one of my favorite directors, filmmaker directors, documentary directors that I highly encourage everybody to go check out. His name is Werner Herzog, and he, you know who he is, yeah. So he introduces fake stuff into his documentaries to make it, you know, to give people the sense of what he's really trying to talk about. So like a lot of the stuff he'll do is staged, or it's misleading, or it's just plain not true. And, you know, I kind of wonder if that's the same thing with Todd, if he's really more of a filmmaker, doesn't care so much about the subject, but, you know, he's willing to compromise that integrity for the film itself, very similar to Werner Herzog. And he owns it. He says that you have to do that in order to create that emotional connection with the people. And he's one of the best out there. And
his ego
so it
gets
kind of makes
in
you
the
wonder
way.
about that.
His
Yeah.
ego
Oh,
gets in
Todd?
the way because he starts telling you. He tells you. He said it on. He was on Sasquatch Chronicles, and he also says to defend himself, with this stuff is, I am a professional videographer. Dude, that's not what you want to tell people. You don't want to tell people you're a professional
And
videographer.
costume designer.
Because you're just like, oh my God. Because what I tried to point out to people during I watched that documentary was when he's showing the snow, it's all snow, and you see something that looks like shoulders in this tree. So what he does now, those are shrubs. Okay, we have them here. Yeah, I could do the same thing. What he did was he put the camera at a different angle and then walked up and was pointing up and going, "It's gone, it's gone." That's because lift the damn camera back up and show where you were looking. And I mean, people fall for these little things. They're not. I guess they're not as critical thinking or whatever. But I picked this out right off the bat. I was like, this guy's a joke. But when he went on Al Jazeera Network, he went on, and you can look that up. He went on the Al Jazeera Network and let them take their whatever their book is. I apologize to any Muslims watching that I'm not a part of your religion, so I can't tell you what your book is. But they followed him around, and he agreed every time. So this is the monster we preach, you know. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And he went on and on. And I just thought, wow, you just sold out the United States of America, Canada, the free world for a couple $100, really? To have these people follow you around and not only make you look stupid, but he gave himself completely to them for everything they said about the monsters in their book, their religious book. Todd Stanley says, yep. You can look that up. It's Al Jazeera Network. Todd Stanley.
Yeah, I actually met Todd, like 5-6 years ago, and he's a true narcissist. I mean, he's somebody where you can't really talk to him. Like I say before, I believe he paid John and Jeff to be up there so he could use them, use their name to help sell his documentaries. So, because that's what he wants to be, is like a filmmaker. In one of his live streams that he did last year, he was talking about the need for it to be successful on Netflix because he wants Netflix to fund a second documentary or a TV show is what he was really kind of going for. But it all depended upon being successful, which again goes back to why I believe he did the lawsuit. Had nothing to do with trying to protect Bigfoot or whatever. He wanted headlines so he could help sell his documentary, because that whole thing was at the same time. And it's called guerrilla marketing. And it's the second time he's done that I'm personally aware of.
Patty. I wish Todd would get into dog man. That's good stuff, Patty. That's good stuff. So what do you think about that, Leon? I mean,
well, I'm more concerned. I'm not concerned. Mrs. BBQ, she's new eyes on the scene. I'm kind of curious what her thinking is about what she's walked into here.
Oh my goodness. That's a bunch of craziness, let me tell you. It's all just been crazy from day one when we were in it years ago. It's just craziness out there. And nothing's gotten any better. After all these years, it's the same thing. Different people, same thing. And it's just intensified by the internet. It's craziness.
So what made you kind of help you kind of sway to maybe join?
I don't know how I got here. It just happened.
I finally talked her into, please, people love you. People want to see you. Jeez.
Oh, I think that's totally correct too, Jay. So number one, on that we met you. We didn't realize that you were some kind of an ogre. Maybe he's married to some kind of ogre. Maybe she's got a huge wart or something hanging down, but no, you're not.
She's quite beautiful.
Yeah, she's got you have a great disposition about yourself. So, and I think that's the key part too.
She thinks before she speaks, Leon. I'm still learning.
Yeah, I'm more of I sit back and listen and kind of evaluate things before I put my two.
Oh my God, you're an objective observer. Oh my God, you're subjective totally. Oh my. Or objective, not subjective.
She probably gets off the show and then she's like in Jay's ear. Well, you know what I think. This is what I think.
She used to stand over here when I'm doing podcasts and stuff and say, well, you know what else? This is going on. This, you should be telling them this. And I'm just like, why don't you just? But I'll tell you, she's about truth and only about truth. And after, being a part of what happened to us and everything, she was there. We both got charged and everything. She could spot bullshit a mile away. It's just, she's better at it than I am. She's more patient than I am. She speaks slower than I do. She doesn't have, even if she's not drinking, she doesn't have the slur. I do. I hate the way my voice sounds when I listen to a podcast I've been on. I'm like, Jesus, I'm not even drinking. It sounds like I've been drinking. But I get excited quickly. I'm learning though. I'm actually trying to make a change in how I present myself. I'm still going to be me, but I'm trying to cut out the bad language and jumping the gun on something. I ate crow last week big time. I ate it big time.
But you did it. That's the awesome thing. And you didn't.
And how you handled it.
Yeah, we didn't also just unsubscribe and follow you. Like, you're a human being. There's another human being, you guys out here, instead of the pod people that are roaming around the planet. Like, oy, oy, oy. So.
Pod people.
Steve gets total credit for that whole thing.
It came out of a pod.
My cat keeps trying to get into my lasagna over here, so she's trying to. It's like, will you just stop? You got tons of food, you cow. You're like, go eat that stuff.
Thank you, Whit Helton. Thank you for being here. I don't think we gave a shout out to Alexander Petrikov tonight. He's been in the chat. I don't know if you're still there. Sorry, buddy. I missed you. I'm very sorry about that.
Who's that guy?
If you're ever on the show and you don't know this, which drove me crazy about Yard Stream or whatever we're on here, is that it was always that small little box. No one shared me the important data. Leon, on the right-hand corner, there's another little box. You click on that, it makes it full screen. I didn't know that. So I can watch you normally. None of you told me that. I learned that 3 days ago. You guys have been using the big screen window the whole time, probably, right? Because you know about that little icon that's in the corner. And
Yeah.
streaming. Yes. Brent, you don't?
When you
I'm on my
share
phone.
screen, you mean?
You're seeing them this big. If you go to this corner part of where you see us right now on your screen, you'll see a little square that shows up. Click on that. It'll put it on your full screen. Oh my God, it's exciting. I learned that. How many interviews have I done over the last year and a half?
Brent,
I learned
you look good, buddy. With
Yeah. Ah.
So you need to tell people that because it's frustrating for us at home. And we're still learning, even though we've been online for so many years.
Okay, thank you, Alexander. I'm sorry I didn't get you earlier, buddy. Oh, and Alexander, I got that book. We've been doing book things back and forth, me and Alexander and his crew. I got Kathy Strain's book. And so
Nice.
I want to hook up and do if you guys would like to be a part of it, this is different from what we normally do. Have let's do a once a month. Let's get a book and everybody read it, or a documentary. We all watch it, and then we'll get together and discuss it.
Bring her on and discuss it with her. Your ideas about the book would be great too. That's a neat idea.
I think that would be fun. And me and Alexander were talking about that the other day, and I think it'd be a great thing. To discuss the books. Hey, how do we feel about that? That's kind of a round table if you think about it. Besides the one we're going to have, Brent. And oh my God, I'm so excited. I miss you bad, man. Because
I can't wait to get back down there. I know that was so much fun. So much fun.
Raptor, listen, I've let you stay in here all day. Listen, if you don't settle down a little bit and let's just concentrate on what we're doing, then I'm going to block you. All right. And I'm sorry. I don't want to do that, but stop creating problems.
Yeah. I had to time him out on Shaun's show last night. It's like, Raptor, dude, you need to stop disrupting the chat and disrupting the show in general. Cause you do that virtually all the time. And you don't have to give us the pity party of, nobody likes me. Yeah, dude, just be cool, man. Just be cool. Don't disrupt. Don't start fights, dude. Because
interact and ask us questions. Ask us questions. Be a part of the show. Stop this. Now, I already decided last night when I was watching Shaun's show that if you even showed up, I was going to block you. But then I decided
I was about to block him last night on Shaun's show. Like I was that close. I'm like, do I have the option to mute him or to block him? And it's like knowing his history of doing that stuff is like, my finger was on that ban button, but, I just gave him a timeout and, it's like, giving a little child a timeout. It's like, we're all adults here, so we need to start acting like them.
He came back nice.
He did. I was impressed. I was like, that's
and
nice.
Then he lost some niceness, then lost some niceness, lost a bunch more, and went right on back. If you do this one more time, you're out. Okay.
Dude.
Well, I'm the one who banned them from Squatch Talk.
Yeah, and don't blame us for banning you or doing the timeout. This is all on you, man. This is your behavior. You're creating it.
I think he has a game going where he's trying to see how many shows he can get banned from. Because
maybe
he talks about that every time too.
Well, if you want to be banned,
this show and this one, I think is that true, Raptor? You want the attention.
Well, yeah, I guess let's be a child and get attention and disrupt the show.
I'm not gonna have it on this show. And
the only thing that bugged the hell out of me was, you're gonna block me, you're gonna block me, you're gonna block me. Dude, shut the hell up. Nobody cares. Nobody cares
dude,
you're blocked.
You're getting really annoying, dude.
Yeah. I don't care. Ask questions.
Raptor, you're done here. And don't come back as any other Raptor, blues or blacks or browns. You're done. You're out.
See ya.
Sorry, baby. I hate that shit. This is not what we're about. And this kind of crap it's just you're fucking with I'm sorry. So here I'm trying to work on
Calm down.
Well, it's all about just we shouldn't people in the chat shouldn't disrupt the show. They should enhance the show, not disrupt it to the point where we have to stop it and address it. And we shouldn't be doing that.
It's been going on. It's been going on in all our shows. We've tried and tried and tried to Not gonna
Oh, he's
block
gone.
you. You know, we're not gonna block you, and we can say it 100 times, but he'll keep bringing it up. So, just
Well, he's
Yeah,
messing.
I mean, it's his own behavior. It's not anything else other than his own behavior. So he needs to be accountable for his own behavior and realize that. So maybe he doesn't do it in the future. And hopefully this is a good learning lesson for him because
He's not going to do it here.
no,
ever
I
again.
think it's a game. I think he's trying to get blocked. I think he's running a tab.
yeah, if that's his thing, then
So
he's
you
going
can go
to get
to other
blocked.
channels. That
Mhm.
channel blocked me. Are you gonna block me?
I'm at 150, and because he's proud. Oh yeah, they blocked. Todd Stanley blocked me twice, and this guy
Todd
blocked
Stanley
me this
blocks
time.
a
And
ton of
you-
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nothing special to get blocked by Todd Standing. All right, that guy was on a live stream once, and he's over here telling me Bigfoot picked him up and shook him upside down or something like this, and I'm just like, I'm out of here. I watch him for entertainment value because most of this stuff entertains me. And
It
if I
is.
come
It's like
across
Colorado
something
Bigfoot.
legitimate.
It's like
Right,
entertaining.
right.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
I know it's fake and bullshit, but damn, it's entertaining.
Yeah. And then, when we come across something real, it's like, okay, this is cool.
Patty Troy, I'm falling in love with you. I swear to God. Maybe you
As a
block PTSD. Yes.
Yeah, I mean
So-
that's like his whole thing is like with Raptors, he just wants to get that attention to be blocked, to have us have some sort of reaction
Give it
to
to
him.
him. Do it right
Yeah.
away.
You got it.
The thing is that hopefully, you know what, I didn't want to do that. I really wanted to give him a chance because her
I
and
know.
we discussed this yesterday.
Everybody gave him
Actually,
chances.
We discussed this a couple days ago. I told her, I said, as soon if he shows up, yeah, I want you to block him right away. And then I thought better of it. And I thought, well, maybe, he may have some problems. I'm trying to think
Mhm.
about these things, but
Same here,
he
same
was
here,
just
but
very- I didn't
he's
think-
Guys,
affecting other
stop being
people
so
too much.
nice.
Yeah, he's affecting other people too much that, it's just what it is. You try to help people as much as you can along the process on making a good decision. And if they don't want to make it, then see ya.
Hey, Leon Howler wants to know where's his lasagna.
In his
Wait a minute,
tummy.
3/4 in my tummy. I'm keeping it hidden under my computer so my cat doesn't eat it. And I'm getting a constant call that's just come in with someone trying to send me a video over something. So
Uh-oh.
that's my world. and I'm
Don't click
listening
the
to-
video. Don't click it.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so I'm putting that over there, coming back to this world here. So
So, I don't know how many of you read and all that stuff, but I really would like to get this
Don't know how.
once a month,
Never
even if
learned.
it's
I need pop-up books.
book to listen to. But I'd love to do that. Have a once a month book club to with you guys, Alexander, Pat, everyone to get together and discuss the book. We just pick a book, we'll read it, or a documentary, we'll watch it. Even I would love to watch some of these old ones from the 70s. Let's get together and talk about
Oh, I love those,
the
man.
great stuff from. Yeah,
My
Brent and I are the
favorites.
same, but I love those.
Those are
1970s
amazing.
type of-
Yeah.
Peter
Mm.
Graves is narrating.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Get me all
Yeah.
excited. I have to watch them tonight. I don't know.
If I didn't have to get up in the morning, I'd watch one of those. I love them.
Oh, they're amazing. I love that era. I think the 70s era of Bigfooting is one of my favorites just because I don't know, I just like that retro 70s. The Robert Morgan one. Oh man.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
probably one of my pinnacle right there.
Robert Morgan was right up here,
Yep.
directly across the street. He was directly across the street from where we live. He was right there, and my landlord knew him. Was in the documentary, and one of the other gals that comes up here and visits, she was in that documentary. They were all little girls, and what they did was at one of the campfire scenes, all these kids were just told to just be quiet, and and we're gonna film you. Just be quiet though. So yeah, she was telling me they made it absolutely clear that you were supposed to be quiet.
yeah, that's 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, right across.
That's
the street.
70s Bigfoot.
Yeah, totally.
That was the Robert Morgan one. So
He comes up with some good.
Oh yeah.
that's
Yeah,
70s
Liners are
Bigfoot. Yeah.
fun, yeah.
That'd be a great TV show.
Yeah, the 70s Bigfoot. I can't think. Anybody else have anybody else have something they want to talk about as far as?
Well, I was going to say, since we've got only 20 minutes left, let's come up with some ideas of solutions and moving forward and what we should be doing. Since I have no idea what the hell I'm doing, you guys.
As a channel, I'm not going to promote. I'm not going to bring any of these. If I suspect that you're even a hoaxer, I'm not bringing you on to cry about a Bigfoot in your head. I'm not going to bring you on to show me coloring books of your Sasquatch pet. I'm not catering to that audience in any way, shape, or form. I've already been blasted by one person over it, and that's okay. If you don't want to watch, then there's plenty of stuff you can watch. Go on over to the Odyssey and watch it. That's fine with me. But don't mess with me because I don't want to do it. I want to bring truth to this. I'm really struggling being a part of a lot of the groups, the Bigfoot groups that they just insist I join. And then all I can do is the first thing that I see is like, why are you posting this? Why? And then I get in trouble again. And I'm just thinking, why do you want me there? So
that's why I just scroll on by.
For me, I'm just like, I'm not going to cater to any of those types of things. I'm not going to have any of those people ever. I want real researchers, real people with real stories, and I will vet them. I'm not just going to go, oh, I like what this guy said. Let's bring him on. I'm going to vet them. That's what's most important is vetting. If I can't get to the monetary stuff so I can get better equipment and stuff by being honest and bringing it the honest way, then I don't want it. I don't want it. I'll stop this and I'll stop the Bigfoot barbecue. I'll stop all of that because I'm not going to enhance, or I'm not going to lie or bring on other people who have something you want to click on. I'm not going to do that. I want to keep it honest. And if I can't,
we definitely appreciate that.
If I can't get to my goals and make some kind of monetary thing that way, then I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. So.
Yeah, once you go down that road, it's hard to come back from it, really hard.
Oh yeah. It's like it's tempting. No matter who you are though.
It is.
Sometimes
I've been offered things and I'm just like, but as soon as I'm just like, I just can't.
Yeah. It's tempting. Some people have problems when you monetize a channel. I'm like, well, you are putting work in. This isn't always easy to do. I mean, I work 6 days a week, and sometimes it's hard to fit researching a guest in and stuff. It takes work, so you got to stay up late already.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I suffer severe insomnia, so it's like I should be in bed, and it's like. I got to get ready for this guest. I don't want to sit there and have my own audience go, this guy's an idiot. He doesn't know this guest at all. That's the worst.
I try to be, another thing is I try to be as prepared as possible. Now I got some reading to do before I have Kathy Strain on here in 2 weeks. I have some reading to do, but this book is very enjoyable. Absolutely. That's one of the ones I hope everybody gets, but that's the book on the giants and cannibals and monsters. I admire Kathy Strain greatly, and everybody in this network knows that I am against killing and I'm against her killing, and she knows that. I already talked to her about it. So we have a good open relationship already, and I just, if I can't be honest in who I am, and sometimes maybe I'm a little strong, but this is who I am. This is what you're going to get. And I'll defend you to the end. If you're a friend of mine, you've got me to the end. But you fuck me, man. And that's only one time. We're done forever. That's all it takes. Forever. One time. And I want to always keep it honest. So, but Shaun, that's why I love your show. I love Nikki's show. Brent, you're the one that you approached me way before I ever went on Daniela. Any of that stuff, you and I started talking. You've always been there. When I was sick, you were there. You were always checking on me and stuff. You've been there forever. So I we're solid friends. So
for sure.
And I back what you do, man. That bear video, that's gonna stick with me forever, man. That's
that was awesome.
And then hear Jackie tell the story. That was to hear. That's why her story is so important. Hearing Jackie's version of that bear thing, that was great, man. That was great.
Yeah, kind of helped fully flushed it in or out of what kind of the whole thing was. And yeah, it's actually one of my favorite experiences out in the woods is, getting that close to the bear, able to document it and just observe it and appreciate it.
You could see when it got a little bit tired of you. I mean, I was just, oh shit, look at him.
Yeah, that's when I was like, incredibly stupid. I had to lie to my mom. I'm like, yeah, oh, Mom, don't worry. I had my extended lens on there. I was like 50 yards away. Don't worry. I didn't tell I was 10 feet away. She would have killed me.
You didn't have to worry about the bear. You had to worry about the mom.
Yeah.
Nikki, do you have anything?
I think that I've seen more progress probably in this last year than I have in a really long time. And I think because of that, it's creating cliques. I don't know if, I definitely am seeing a division of power. I am seeing things created that are not necessarily what I like, but I suppose in any community that's going to happen anyway.
What type of things, Nikki?
What's that?
I was just wondering what type of things. You don't have to be too overly specific, but can you give some examples of that?
Well, things like you have people who are the same ideals, and they want to become a family, right? They want to take care of each other.
Right.
So, and I'm seeing more of that. I'm seeing people become the mom and dads of groups and wanting to take care of their own and wanting to defend their honor type of thing happening. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but it can cause definite rifts,
right?
To grow, to move forward.
Yeah.
So, and I guess we just have to take it one step at a time. And including me, I need to learn to let things go where I didn't used to do that before.
I struggle with that too, Nikki. I struggle with that too.
And I don't. I want to confront things because that's the type of person I am. But maybe in this case, it's not better to do that. It's better for me to just move on and do what I need to do.
Yeah, because some things and some people just aren't worth your time,
Right.
It's best to just keep focusing on what you want to do.
Right. I'm not a huge threat in this community by far. I'm not a huge threat. I have a very little channel that's just starting out, but
I'm not laughing at you, Nikki. Damn
I know.
It's every time she's on.
Curious Cryptid has to say something so funny. Last time you were pouring your heart out and somebody's making comedy and God dang it.
No, it's not. The lasagna's gone. I ate it all. The cat got nothing. What Nikki was saying is important to let us listen back to the conversation.
Yeah, well, now see, I lost the moment again. So
but we were right in the emotional heart stuff too, eh? The part that the center of the prairies, man. You were sharing your heart.
I was sharing a moment.
Yeah.
It's a moment that's gonna come again. It's still there. It's just
you're talking about your channel is young.
Yeah.
So is ours.
It's young. I hope to see it grow. I hope people are liking what I am putting out. I had a lot of people who were maybe not concerned, but they were interested in how I was going to present some of the stuff I was going to present. But it's really, we all talk about hoaxers on all our channels.
Yeah.
Not just, you know, it comes up a lot. And I just happen to be focusing on that,
Right.
and giving us a place to do that in, without endangering the research,
Well, I'll
without,
tell you,
you know,
right.
mixing that up. Because, you know, you guys who have the research channels is wonderful, but you don't want to taint your research with a bunch of the hoaxing stuff. You know,
I
you
don't know
want
if
to
I'm more
keep
worried
to,
about doing that. I think the nice thing is though that you're doing it, Nikki, and so is Phil, so that we can just direct people to you guys, and we don't have to worry about it.
Exactly.
We can do what we're supposed to be doing. But I mean, we'll still address it back 100%, of course.
Right.
But
If you,
you are that's your niche, and so that I don't have to keep doing. Because I'm doing the video to show people their hoaxes, but I'm doing it more for my own psychological sanity.
Right.
Because I don't want them to end up in the same boat that the rest of us were in. It's like, this is just, all these are garbage. Show
you know,
me.
I've found now that when I'm seeing those stupid things come up, now I'm shooting a link to my show.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
here, if you want more information about this, here, watch this.
Totally.
Well,
Instead of going into it, I just I'm shooting links now, so that's better.
If you look in the dictionary under class, it says "see Nikki."
Oh, thank
That's
you.
how that's. I mean, to me, I love how you've done this. You handle your guests in the proper ways too. What you did that night with Rick Dyer, that will forever be burned in my memory. You really handled the. You know, Steve Coles, he's a tough guy. You know, you were able to get those guys tamed down there. I would hate to have seen them if they'd have been in the same room. Oh my God, I think Steve Coles would have ate that son of a bitch for breakfast.
He was lit, man. I've never seen him like that. I was like, damn, dude.
Yeah,
Because I was listening to it and I had to pull out my phone. I'm like, oh shit, Steve's coming on. This is getting good.
It was so much going on in that show. I mean, the majority of the people don't know that I had Leon texting me, facial, he's doing this, to tell me he's lying to you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know.
Yeah,
You know, but I'm trying to keep a straight face.
Yeah.
And I got other people telling me, bring me on, you know, because a lot of people wanted to come on the show, but I'm like, no, I need to manage this.
I know why. We feel protective though, Nikki. You're our sister. You're all of our sister, and we all felt protective. I mean, I understand why Pat wanted to come on that night, wanted to come on there, try to help you. I felt the same way, and we were both sitting here watching it, we're going like, oh Jesus, God, get him, Nikki.
I'm sitting back going, let it go. Yeah. I want somebody to say something that we've never heard before.
Yeah.
You know,
and you were totally on it. That's the thing, is we were worried for you, which made us concerned, but you were totally on it the whole time, because we had talked afterwards too, when you said everyone was kind of worried and stuff, and you were totally cool. You totally kept, you know, you weren't like, all of a sudden something happened, like in Pat's show there when that guy shows up in the chat.
Right.
You won't say that what it was, but for you were totally, you knew what was going on. You weren't like, oh my God, I've got
well researched.
Just showed
like
up.
I didn't. Yeah, So I had it. I did have it. I did have my cursor on the thing to put Steve in timeout if I had to. You know, it was like right on there, so all I had to do was click, but I didn't. That was the making of him saying something, you know, that we'd never heard before. And at the end, when it only lasted like 2.5 minutes, it seemed like a lifetime. But the argument really was not long at all. It just seemed that way.
Then the next thing is they look like booze and buddies, you know?
Right. And that
they worked out a lot of
stuff.
A lot of stuff got worked out because of Rick Dyer coming on the show, and a lot more was learned. So it's like it was a very valuable episode for us.
Right.
That's episode 5. You can find that on my channel, Hairy Man Hoaxes and Hoodwinks. Okay, dear. The Howler. and the real argument stuff doesn't come till the end, so you have to watch the whole thing.
Gotta watch so. Hey, Howard,
Because it
I'm
all
telling you
leads
what,
in.
I'm telling you what,
Yeah.
Well worth
is
it.
well worth it.
Yeah, you want to watch the whole thing. And the ultimate, even beside the show, was that after show, because so much more came out when the veil came off, and he was like, you know,
Mhm.
and things were said, and emotions were really high, and you know, it was all a lie. All of it. The whole thing was made up beginning to end.
And let Howard know too that he spent a great deal of that show telling you, I don't care about the people that I've screwed over. I don't care about the people.
Mhm.
I made money, and he's told you I made this much. And some people were questioning him in your chat. Oh, there's no way you made this much. Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah, he did.
He did.
Yeah.
And he's like, and the whole time he had that arrogant smile. You're the fool, not me. You're the fool. I don't care. And he said it over and over. I don't care about you.
People want him to care, but that's not the way he works.
Yeah, and it was important that these people see that a lot of these people don't care about you. They'll lie to you straight to your face, take your money, and call you a friend.
Money.
They don't care. Yeah,
I think it's in our nature that we want to think the best of everybody. We want to think that there's always a little bit of good in everybody. No matter what you do, there's that great soul in there that cares, and loves and has compassion. That's not true. There are some who nope.
And don't listen to that song by Coldplay, I Will Fix You. It's a great song. We're not here to fix anybody. We're here to believe in people. And that's what's so disappointing, is when the people that you've been sincerely trying to assist in believing in turn out to be not even functional enough to understand what the gift is you're offering them to them. So
right.
And
he's the same now. He's still constantly focusing on himself and his life and all the tragedies he's had, because he wants that focus. He wants to tell people all of his craziness in his life, and how he survived it, and he's coming back.
Let's ask one more. Let me ask one more person. Justin Smeha. Shaun?
Bear DNA. He was a bear. He didn't kill anything but a bear. End of story. There's a video. I don't know if it was in a documentary or something, but there's a group of people up with him. The guy's challenging him. And you just watch that, and you can just tell that he's processing a story. He's not, it may have been Filipovich challenging him. I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm trying to think of who that was.
It could have been Randy Filipovich. I'm not sure.
Was that the video when he was out in the woods?
Yes.
And the guy's
I think that's Kip.
Yes.
Wasn't that Kip?
It's
Kip.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was just wondering. Somebody was kind of challenging him, and you could see the wheels spinning. And I'm just like, oh, boy, is this guy making it up?
He got so defensive on it.
Yep.
He's like, you want your money back? Or whatever.
Yeah. Just watch that video, and there's your answer. I mean, we can't control ultimately if people are going to listen to it. You just try and give them the tools to understand where we're coming from. And now you just listen to both sides.
Right.
It's the best you can do, unless somebody wants to better their own selves and get some lessons. Listen, we're not all perfect. We're human beings. We all have our faults, our fears, and our insecurities. But you can get past them, and you can learn, and you can teach others from that. And that's really important for life.
You can't wake up people if they don't want to be awakened.
Right.
You certainly can't bring somebody who's in a coma into
right
into anything. So, it's kind of like, as people get more educated and you get a higher sight, you move up, you could say. And then the people down here are kind of stuck in a moat, and there's crocodiles in the moat. So it's always going to have the crocodiles bickering and stuff. The idea about moving on with your channel and why you're doing what you're doing. It's about, you have to, well, in counseling terms, you call it a parentalectomy. At one point in life, you need to have a parentalectomy from your parents. You need to be disconnected from your parents so you get to be the full person you were born to be. And that's what we're supposed to do with our channels as well. Our channels, we went through a lot of growth period. That's what I look at the last 5 or 6 years is about. If you came online just in the system to do a YouTube channel, what it would be like? It'd be like what I was just in for the last 5 or 6 years. Doesn't matter what topic it is. But I learned so much, editing, talking, interviewing, all that other bonus stuff. That's what I really need. That's the important part for me. And I think, you know, it's not all garbage, but a lot of people aren't where we're at. They're stuck down here with the moats, and they're still getting attacked by the crocodiles anytime anyone puts a finger up to ask the right question, of course. But once they see us and look up the hill, they'll start coming up the hill too. And that's the way to do it. There's no use. You have to disassociate yourself from the system when the system is toxic. It's like trying to save a drowned person. They'll pull you down every time.
Yep.
Or you finally get out of the quicksand, and then you try to go back to help people in the quicksand. You got a chance of being pulled back in, or it'll take you longer to get your reality back the longer you're in the psychological system. And I just can't do that. I don't do it at work. It's not fair to my clients, people I deal with. It's not fair to me. I need to be able to have the voice that you guys are all talking about. So that's my opinion, by the way.
You all know that I was involved with a different show at one point. As I was growing, I thought I was in the right place. I wasn't. I can't legitimately sit there and watch somebody lie without being able to call that out. I can't do it. I love this person that I co-hosted with, and I still love that person. But I just can't do those kinds of things. I'm not in this for the clicks and the likes. And so I apologize to that person too. I just wish that we could have done something other than what happened. I wish we could be friends, but it's not going to happen. And I'm not going to apologize for the fact that I need truth. I seek truth, and I really needed help. The help that I got back then, and all I was eye candy. I guess.
Product. And eye candy. Yeah, product.
But yeah, I had no control of nothing. I had zero control, and that person was making money and I wasn't. And all I'm saying is I'm not afraid to make some money, but I want to do it honestly. I want to do it with truth, and I want to do it with honesty. And I'm nowhere near being able to make money right now. But that's not what I'm after. I'm after hopefully teaching and learning, still learning. There's a lot to learn. We're not done with this. We're nowhere near done with this. But if we don't keep this network clean, then we're going nowhere. If we're just going to allow anybody on because, hey, it's okay, you're a flat earther, or it's okay this or that. Okay, well, then you need to belong to some other network. All right. That's my opinion. I don't want those people. And I did say at one point I was going to have this certain guy on the show. I will not. As soon as you start talking about the baby Jesus was the first Sasquatch, then you're done with me. I'm done. I'm not religious. I just think, Jesus, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And Chandler Grove says, oh, fascinating. And then now she's publishing his books. So, I'm like, wow, because you're in it for the likes and the monetary value, I'm not having that on this show. We'll close this show down before that ever comes to that.
Yeah, you want to live in reality or don't you?
I do.
Reality will come and smack you pretty hard in life, and if you don't know how to live in reality, it will just absolutely collapse and destroy you. And you need to bear under it because it is coming for us all, and I'm sure all of us have experienced a few of them already. And they were tough times. We don't have time for the BS. I don't have time for the BS, man. I'm done with it.
I'll plow right through it.
great. But the key part is go do our stuff. Set a beacon over here, another one over here, another one over here, another one over here, what we're doing in the larger community. Because, you know, the idea that there's so many people and so many channels and so many Facebook channels out there, plug into as many toss salad approaches we can into those different communities. It'll shift the whole bloody scene. It's not a big community to shift as a system. So you're not talking like millions and millions of people. And we're not trying for everybody anyways. We're trying for the right people to get the right data so we can maybe show that they're actually out here instead of this bogus kind of yap. Did I mention the card that I've really failed at? It has the word wait on it. Why am I talking? I get it. I know I'm a talker. But again, like you said, it shuts me up sometimes when I get to be here and I can tell myself to shut up, Leon, just listen. So
Oh, shut up, Leon. Already.
thanks, man.
Shut up.
Jesus criminy.
So offended to myself.
know.
Don't ever have that guy on your channel. Nikki, don't have him on your channel.
So, Kat Hansen is the last person I'm going to
I
No.
already said you were having the last person.
So it's the last person because she's seen genies. She'll tell you all about genies.
reality.
She'll tell you all about the Sasquatch. Then the ones that are actually kidnapping people are not really a Sasquatch in the forest. There's something similar, but they live underground and they can communicate with Sasquatch and all that. So there's those. Then the dog man, and then the sheep squatch. Now these are all the things she talks about. And she's supposed to be half Indian, half German. And my God, here's a following that's out of this world. It's out of this. She's a broken arrow, all right. Jeez. And
So is that even her real name?
Who knows? I remember. I'm not a big fan
No,
of
Cat's
Thomas.
short for something.
I'm
like
not a big
Katrina
fan
or
of Thomas Seawood, but boy, he made her about that tall one day. He sends me a message. I just took care of that bitch. I was like, oh, easy, man. But you know, there are shows. She has her own show, and then there are shows that cater her as though she's a real teacher of some kind. I mean, seriously, what are those things that turn into stone in the morning? Gargoyles. Oh yeah, she's got the gargoyle stuff. She's got all the fuzzy photos that you'll ever need for all the subjects, and then she'll tell you all about them, their names, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And people are following and going, oh my gosh, what an incredible person to know all this stuff. Unbelievable.
Well, she was already debunked with her gorilla face in the bushes.
Big fat Tony.
So
Not Bigfoot Tony, it's big fat Tony.
yeah.
It sucks that he's not online anymore, I'll tell you.
I'm trying to bring him back.
I know. I've been doing it.
Come on, dude.
Wait for
World could use a Bigfoot Tony sighting.
Yep.
He's all right.
Try to get him to get out the porcupine, but
He's all right, Sean.
Nope.
Sean's the
He's all
hardest
right.
guy
I
on
mean,
the panel.
Yeah, I'm not easy. I'm not easy to please. I mean, Missy's big skunk ape. That's real.
no, I agree.
He has one
I mean,
video.
I disagree. I disagree with some of his conclusions, but you know, especially with the Monument Wallow video, I'm like, dude, you're breaking down an enhanced video, so it's like you need the original. I mean,
the thing is about him is he will shift.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Is
right?
He shifts, whereas you know, Thinker Thunker just not a chance. He's going to shift.
Yeah, he's all about the money.
That was great. That's the one thing I appreciated, even though I didn't think it needed to be done, was the back and forth with Thinker Thunker. But that last one where he goes, Thinker Thunker, you know it's a guy. I'm like, you damn right he knows he's a guy, you know?
Sheep squatch, Robin. Sheep as in sheep squatch.
Yeah, it's a real thing. I'm considering on believing in it for a little while. I don't know. I'm getting kind of bored.
Yeah.
So
I would like to see
sheep squatch. That's something new. Check that bad boy out.
My friend the Bat Squatch told me all about his cousin the Sheep Squatch. Now he said. Now the Bat Squatch said. The Bat Squatch said. No, the Bat Squatch said when somebody asked him, "What about Dogman?" He goes, "What, are you out of your stinking mind? There's no such thing. Ask my cousin Sheep Squatch." Yes. No, that's
like a good.
Kentucky. In Kentucky, they believe in the Appalachians that there's sheep swash. True. That's the truth.
Oh yeah, I remember back in '34. It was a very warm week in the southern part of Tennessee.
Well, you guys saw that picture, right? The sheep squatch with the earbuds hanging out or the earphones hanging out. You guys saw that one? That looked legit. I don't know. Yep. Oh, before I forget, Nikki, a good show topic would be the Gable footage.
The Gable, which one's that?
The one with the dog man running towards you.
I don't do Dogman. Dogman isn't in my vocabulary anymore.
Is it on YouTube, Brent?
The Gable film?
Yeah.
It's good because it's a really good fake. It's a really good hoax. Like,
is that the one where the guy's running like this?
Yeah, or no, it was like a
floor?
dog. No, I think it was a dog. That they put something over the dog, and the dog just started.
No, it was a guy. That was.
Oh, was it a guy?
It was
wow,
a guy,
that's impressive.
and they even found an old car to put in the scene so that it would look like the footage was like later.
Oh, did you see the later footage of them showing how they did it and like the guy totally breaking down like, oh, this is how we did it and blah. Yeah, it was a really cool one.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. So that was really a good hoax.
How come there's no dog woman?
That's what I ask. Where's the dog kids? Seems like it's kind of a sexist cryptid.
Female dog man, a dog woman, like 10 breasts, probably just had a whole litter of dog man babies. They're probably got size of wolves as newborns. And
exactly. I mean, are dog kids wolves? And then they just kind of grow up and I don't know.
Going, hey, why aren't you providing for us? Geez, get your ass out there and kill something,
No. I do think that those, if whatever, I think if anything, it could be a Bigfoot with a wolf head on it or a coyote's skull head, like Native Americans. That's the only thing I could say, hey, there's your dog man, or a bear.
I think it's an emaciated bear when people talk. The descriptions I always hear seems to me like it's a emaciated bear. That's the most logical thing for me, because bears stand up on their legs, but emaciated bear. I've seen pictures of emaciated bears. Dude, you could fool me thinking that that's some giant wolf standing up or something, but I'm not. I don't know, and it wasn't until that lady, and I'm friends with her. I just can't remember her name. Linda Godfrey, wrote that book, Beasts of Bray Road. Nobody ever talked about that kind of stuff.
Well, actually, it was the 70s when the Dogman was introduced. It was a Minnesota TV or radio show, and it was kind of a little skit that they did. I believe that was the first introduction of Dogman, and it kind of grew from there. And, you have people like Linda's like, ooh, I could take this obscure thing and, make it into something that it's not, add superpowers to it or whatever, whatever traits you want and create your own little cryptid. It's like a creepypasta.
Yeah.
I just wish Bigfoot had one of those like a Ninja Turtle thing going around, and be like Donatello or come out there. It's got the big old nunchucks the size of pine trees. It'd be a nice little cartoon. I think I'd be working on that or something.
Yeah, no kidding. A little kid's book or something.
Yeah. Bigfoot out of the shadows. What?
Yeah.
Well, guys, do you guys have anything else?
Not me. I didn't come prepared.
Same here. I'm lucky I even got in because you sent me a link that didn't work.
No. See, it worked because I got on and Nikki got
for everybody
on.
but you.
It worked for Leo and it worked for
everybody but me. I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, Thomas is still in the back
that button.
Yeah, he's been sitting there for 2 hours.
Yeah, Thomas is waiting for 2 hours. So it's like, oh, we got somebody else in here. Guess he's another Canadian, and he's still there. He's skeletonized, but 10 years later. Thomas.
Oh my God, that's so weird. You said that. He's like texting right now.
I know.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, they've
Yeah.
been messaging back and forth there. We got some good news for you. So,
Thomas Steenberg?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is for Nikki, but
Oh, I was
but
gonna say,
behind the scenes, we're doing this messaging back. Well, they're messaging me, and I'm messaging them, and it's about something else we're working on. So,
sorry, Dave. We are closing it up, buddy. Sorry. God, thanks to the chat. A lot of people here tonight. I appreciate every one of you. Got a lot of new subscribers. I'm very grateful for you, and I'm very grateful to the ones that have been there from the beginning. Stay with us. We're gonna have better shows, more shows. We're gonna have people you've probably never heard of, and I'm very excited that I'm gonna have Tristan again. His audio stuff has Shaun and I have been working on this together, and we're going to present 2 more shows together as a linked channel with Tristan. And
That's awesome.
it's he's got so much stuff that we couldn't put everything on that night we had him, and he's such a good kid. Gosh, if
Where does he live at?
What's that?
Oh, what area does he live?
Washington,
He lives
right?
closer to Bumping Lake than we do. He doesn't want us to. He doesn't
Oh,
want us.
he's further north though than you, right?
Right. Yeah, and but that's close enough for where his family actually goes there. His mom, I guess, is one hell of a researcher. So I'm gonna have her on too, and I'm trying to get a hold of the guy that found the cabin.
Oh, Mark Merzel.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can't have him on. We got some good things coming on. Next week is the Christmas show, and I would like, all of you guys are invited. This is straight up. We're just gonna talk about the year type of stuff. No Bigfoot stuff. If it comes up, it comes up. But just celebrating the year. And then I'll have Kathy Strain the week after.
I just want to point out I'm the only one who has Christmas stuff up here.
Sorry.
Our little tree.
None of them.
little tree
Look
is
at them.
growing
None
up.
of them. None of them have anything Christmassy. No Sasquatch Christmas, Sasquatch, or anything like Santa.
Next week I'm gonna have a Santa hat.
Just wait. Give me a little bit of time. Just wait.
There's only like a week left.
Are you kidding me? I know Nikki, just watching her for the Halloween show.
Oh yeah, that
I
was
know
good.
damn well what's going on in her house.
It's funny you say that. I do it up. I like have 10 trees. We do it up big time. But this year I'm gonna be in Arizona, so we didn't decorate, and it's so sad, because I really want to decorate, but I mean, it is what it is. I have to go see my dad. He's not doing well since his he's one of the long haulers from COVID. So yeah, I got to take my kids over there to go see their grandpa, and it'll be good. I'm not going to do a show, that Sunday, but I'll probably jump on whoever else is having a show.
Well, I wouldn't mind co-hosting a show with somebody else who has a show, type of thing. I mentioned that before. If she can't, be available, or me, one of you guys can step in, or I'd like to do the same with you guys. Just something like that. If you can't make it, I'll take your place that night or whatever. I think that'd be fun. But I'm looking at
Everybody's getting it worked out here, I see.
Yeah, Robin Moon. Oh, look at that. Oh, geez, you guys really, God, look at that. Look at Shaun.
Nikki. Nice, Nikki.
Look at Nikki.
Wait a minute.
Did me to shame.
She cloaked. Oh my God, it's possible.
Nikki's gonna get kidnapped by the CIA.
Holy crap.
Since
That's funny.
1995.
That's how they
It's
do
possible.
it. They got a Harry Potter cloak. Wow.
Anointed Harry Potter cloak. Yeah.
It's to make my ugly chair disappear.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Shaun, you got Rudolph's dead hanging by his, got dog tags and shit on. Look at that. Rudolph's dead and skinned out, hanging in a tree. Wow.
It's a dog man.
Dog man doesn't care about
It
Rudolph.
tried to get me, so I took it out, you know?
Eat that in your cereal, children.
Okay, let's go off backstage.
All right, we're out. Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Bigfoot, nobody loves you. Hell, nobody even likes you. It is because you are of a lower class. If this is you in your picture, okay, you do look a little bit tough. But I know an old boy from Yakov makes you look like a powder puff. We could fight tonight out in my house if you think you're man enough. But $100 says you don't show up.